Hello and welcome to the Success Showcase. I'm your host, Eric Lopkin with the Modern Observer Group. And with me, as always, is Chip Janiszewski from the Happiness and Success GPS. Chip, how you doing this week?
I'm doing great, Eric. Winding down November after Thanksgiving and looking forward to December and all the holiday madness.
Absolutely. Heading into the holiday season. And, I think the holiday season is a good time for our guest today because he talks a lot about giving back. So, Chip, why don't you introduce him?
Yeah, my friend Jason Gibson, who's our guest today, is an absolutely perfect guest, and he's a gift to us today too. I met Jason back when I was doing some work over at the Institute of Technology and Business Development. I was just teaching a quick entrepreneurism class, which Jason was a part of. And part of it was putting together a business plan. And that was going to be the next session. And Jason said, I have something in mind. Can I share it with you? And I said, sure. And he shared me this vision about the handkerchief, which is just a heartwarming, touching story. And basically, resulting from that is a business that we are putting together to really serve youth, not only around here, but all over the country. So, Jason, your story is amazing. So, tell us how you got from point A to point B and how you're here today.
Well, good afternoon, and it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me. My journey started way back in 1969 in Waterbury, Connecticut, where I was born. Grew up in an impoverished neighborhood household. I was born the seventh child out of 10 to a single female headed household. Um, During those times, as you can imagine, very, very hardship that was put upon my family was very transient. From kindergarten to eighth grade, I went to seven different schools, and even during those times, found um, that we were homeless. We were in a shelter, and if it wasn't for the grace of family members, my aunt, and especially my oldest sister, who took us into her four-room apartment. She already had a family, so she took me and my siblings, my six other siblings, and my mom into this four-room apartment. So yes, there was 11 of us um, living there for 2 years. Really hard times, and it was just uh, something to experience. And but reflecting back, we definitely had to love. When it wasn't until my ninth grade year, my freshman year in high school, where we were able to get a apartment of our own, and we were fortunate to have stable residency for all 4 of my years in high school. At that point in time, I definitely knew that I didn't want to look back, so I found a way to put myself through junior college at first, um, and then transferred over to um, Central Connecticut State University, where I graduated with a bachelor's of arts and social work. I took on an internship at the Boys and Girls Club here in New Britain in 1991, and then I had a part-time job, and then I was hired in 1995 as full-time program director, where I held that position until 2 years ago. Um, I resigned that position to take on another position with the Consolidated School District of New Britain as a family school liaison, where my main purpose is to connect families with resources that may help them to overcome obstacles that's preventing their student or that students or siblings from going to school. Um, in the meantime, the hardships and the tragedies didn't stop in my life. Um, 4 or 5 years ago, unfortunately, I found myself losing two siblings, 8 months within 8 months of each other, unexpectedly. And there was one day I was just sitting in church and you know, really exalting the pain and the sadness that was that overtook me at that time. And there was a member of the congregation. Like I said, I still remember that. Didn't say a word. Didn't ask for anything. Didn't need to. He handed me over his handkerchief, and I was just, even at that moment, I was just like, wow, you know what? Such a small gesture at the time can mean so so much powerful for individual or human being that the other person, really, unbeknownst to him, didn't know how much of a impact that would be. But that's where I really started to envision and looking back at some of the hardships that I had endured through my lifetime. But at the same token, just realized that, you know what, there's been a lot of good people, including family members, friends, strangers, that really provided and helped support us through those times. Not knowing how I could, or when I could, or if I could, but I vow that if I ever come into a position where I could give back and pay it forward, that I absolutely gonna um, give it 100% to is just give back. In my way of saying thank you, it may not be to the individuals that helped me, but at least I hope it will be some compensation, knowing that their gratitude did not go in vain. So I was asked to take a course at the Central Connecticut State University, the ITBD building at the time, and I believe it was a three-part course, and one of the courses was business strategic planning, and that's where I met Chip, and one of our homework assignments was to put a strategic plan together, and he said, I said, you know what, I had something in mind. Do you mind if you take a look at it and let me know what you think? And at the time, I called it the handkerchief because that was still in my heart of that gesture that was given to me in church. And I just went along and told my story and just wrote down my story and then say, you know what, my vision is to have a platform, to have a space where people who usually don't know where to go or where to get to navigate as far as getting resource or knowing the resources that's available to them, and to really reach as many families and individuals that I can. Part of it was just my vision, but most of it was, I believe, my purpose. That I believe that we all have a purpose in life, and I believe that's my purpose, is to be that connecting, to be that person to help as many as I can. Um, right now, we're still developing. Chip has been wonderful. Jotting down. We taking measures, see what we need. What resources do we need? What is the population that we trying to reach? How are we gonna, do the outreach? How are we gonna let folks know that this is what's happening? Um, it's just been a blessing, um, and I know that it's going to be out there on the media, social media, sooner than later, I believe. And I'm just feeling blessed about the position that I'm in now.
Yeah, and it's an amazing story again, Jason, with what you've done. And basically you've taken your life and you could have just run with it, run away from everything, and here you are using your experiences and most importantly your big heart and love and desire to pay it back and help a whole lot of people. Um, Basically the vision and mission that we came up with was to provide and connect youth and families with resources to be productive citizens and have a better quality of life. And those include mentoring, training, providing resources online and so on and so forth to really help out the youth. Jason has been very involved in the city of New Britain for a number of years. When COVID struck, he was the one that was organizing children to get fed, computers to be delivered to schools, and so on. And he does have a whole lot of connections out there who are familiar with the platform. So there's a whole lot of things that are going on right now um, to help the youth around the country, and also basically their families who are going through the same thing that Jason was. So, I mean, kudos to you for what's going on. And you want to share a little bit about what's going on right now?
Um, being that we just coming over the Thanksgiving holiday, I was fortunate to connect with, let me say, once again, what I said, just great people. The Gable Basket Brigade. I was able to help secure 200 gift cards for families of the Boys and Girls Club in the surrounding community, the Britain community. Um, right now, with COVID, a lot of things have been put on the back burner as far as school goes. The school district right now is on remote for the next 2 weeks. I'm just really making those connections. What I helped with our school district was to make sure that all the kids in our school is able to have a device, uh, electronic device to do remote learning. Whether it was um, help them gain access to the Wi-Fi or a personal hotspot. Um, right now, we're looking I'm looking to help secure resources and funding for the Christmas holiday. Um, it's just been a lot going on um, as far as resources that are needed. Um, a lot of people that I spoke to, a lot of families that I spoke to, once again, just like the everyday essentials or the basic needs, as far as transportation, getting to appointments. So I'm looking to secure bus passes. Um, other things is that's more prone to a lot of people is they're worrying about whether or not they're going to be able to have heat in their homes or food on their table. So I want to put something out there to make that connection with energy assistance and um, really let folks know that they're not alone. I know it's hard, it's not easy, but and we need resources. We need those connections. We need a lot that's going on. I mean, this is new, and I'm trying to let people know this is new to everybody. It's nobody's fault, but unfortunately, it's hurting a lot of people harder than most will know. And being right there in the midst of everything, knowing what a lot of folks are going through. Even though sometimes I'm able to help, I'm able to make that connection. There's part of me that just felt that I'm not doing enough, and I just want to do more. And I want to reach out and really get this platform out there because there's really everywhere you look there are people that want to do that want to give back, that want to support. Sometimes those that are fortunate to do that don't know how themselves. So hopefully, right now, what we're doing is making those connections, securing those resources, securing that whole platform atmosphere to reach as many families as we can.
Yeah,
That's really that's really fantastic. And yeah, I love the phrase you used. You don't feel you've done enough. There's a lot of folks who have gone through similar situations to you, and they've taken the attitude that, you know what, I've been through enough. The world now owes me. And you're turning it around and saying, you know what, there's other people that are in situations like me. I got out of it. I want to help those people. And that mindset is fantastic.
yeah, and Jason along the way has made a whole lot of connections. He has the city government behind him. He knows the mayor very well. In fact, the mayor tried to make him run for office and stuff. He has the schools behind him. I mean, basically, what he is the voice of awareness that hey, we got these problems out there. We got to do something about it. And he's the one that's starting to do things about it and rallying the troops around him. It's just an amazing, amazing thing that's going on. So
Yeah. Yes, and to your point, Eric, I just feel that I don't know. There's this. It would be selfish of me to say, okay, you know what? People have pulled me out, and not to be able to um, go back and pay that forward. There's a guilt that sits upon me that you know gratitude goes a long way. It's the most powerful gift I think that we can give, that a human being can have, and I'm just grateful. Yes, I lost a lot in life. yes, there was hardship. Yes, there was things that I wish were better. But you know what? Once again, I believe that I'm fortunate. And it's always a blessing to just have people encourage you too. And that's one thing that I have to give to Chip. If he doesn't hear from me, he's gonna get in contact with me, and that's the blessing in itself as well. Just to have people that encourage you and to keep inspiring you. Those it doesn't matter how old you are, doesn't matter how young you are, and I think if we can be bricks of a foundation, we can build something special, and that's what I'm looking forward to.
That's great. Now, what do you see Handkerchief turning into? What do you want to accomplish with this?
I I want it to be a platform once again where um, families or individuals can feel comfortable of reaching out and having a connection to resources. Not always have to be a financial connection, but just a resource, just a place where they know that if they're looking for housing, they can navigate through it. If they're looking for clothing, shelter, food, and one of the biggest things that I see that is overlooked is bereavement um, services, counseling services. Um, I know that in New Britain, especially in New Britain, there's a lot of young people that lost loved ones, at a very young age, and um, right now there's really no pinpoint bereavement services for those families. A lot of families believe that writing on the back of a window, "Rest in peace," or having a candle vigil, and that's it. There's so counseling teachers really wanted to be out there to say one you're not alone. You know, others have gone through similar path, may not have been the same path, but not similar path. But we're here. We want to help you. Um, and this is a place to start. Everybody needs a starting point. We may not be the um, beginning and the end, but we may be the beginning to an end of certain ills that are plaguing the families. So, with a really see and really vision, you know, um, like Chip has stated, training, whether it's job training, whether it's mentoring, whether it's academic support, you name it. This is where I vision. There's a lot of places where we can go with this, and it's putting it all together, and having that plan and having that vision and executing it to the best of our ability.
Yeah, and looking at my notes, I know that we'd written up a mission vision statement, but this is what we have, and it's just amazing.
Yes,
To build communities that will guide and support individuals, especially our youth, via counseling, coaching, mentoring, educating, and providing shelter, food, and outreach resources for overcoming obstacles in their lives, and then celebrating their victories with them as they're
yes,
accomplished. Wow.
yes, yes. And that celebration is always a good thing too, because like I said, there's an into something, into um, an obstacle that a lot of people seem at. They look at it and say that it's impossible. I can never get over that obstacle. But once you get over that, and that celebration is a good celebration.
Absolutely. And it's not just important to celebrate overcoming big obstacles, but it's important to celebrate overcoming the little ones
Yes,
because that builds momentum that makes it easier to get over the big obstacles.
Yeah, and what
yes,
Jason's building is a team of people to do this, and celebrating with each other is such a big part of it too.
and the one of the main focus point too is having someone believing. That goes a long way. Um, you know, like I said, there was many times where I had people who believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. That's the other thing that I want to instill in folks, because sometimes it is difficult to see that there is something better in life that it is hard to see that when you never saw it before, you never had that encouragement. But now, having experienced it, having gone through it, but also realizing that, like I said, there's a lot of great people out there that go unnoticed, and I want to tap into those resources of those that really want to be part of this, and really, like I say, it could be the simplest ways of giving back. Because I know the benefits of really having a person turn their life around.
Yeah, it's so important to have somebody that's going to offer that encouragement. That very often can be the difference, but that turns somebody's life around when they see that yes, somebody else thinks this is possible and they can do it. It's a big boost to help people, especially when they're going through such hardships, to say yes, they can turn this around.
Yes, like you say, self-worth is very very important, and I had to look into the mirror. This is another technique Chip taught me, to look into the mirror and say, you know what, I'm here today for a purpose, and I'm here to fulfill that purpose. And it's about waking up every day and living with a purpose and living for a purpose. So I know that a lot of individuals, they get overlooked at because um, they could be going through one of the hardest times in their life. They probably don't know how to articulate it, or probably just don't want to express what they're going through. But sometimes that caring human being, and I believe, as the quote has says, I believe that every child is one caring adult away from success. So, and that's the model I want to bring into it, because it is working in my profession. I see it, that those that are encouraged, or those that are mentor, or those that are just have that adult to listen to or help them through. It's amazing, 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 amazing stories that came out of it. I mean, I was fortunate to work with young folks. In my in my work line of work, I was able to see Super Bowl champ, out of New England Patriots, a three-time Emmy Award winner out of a graphic designer. Um, two young men who never had any desires or skills to be a cook become executive chefs of some of the most grand restaurants in this country. And that was all about having a helping hand. And the list goes on and on. And so many times there were so many kids that were able to overcome tragedies and obstacles, and became first time college students and graduates. Um, and they're really out there fulfilling their purpose. And it's just been a blessing to see those turnaround stories. So I know it's it's there. The evidence show it, and a lot of them always attribute that to a caring adult just helping them along the way.
Excellent.
Yeah,
So
we've had a lot of talks about the world and different things as we've gone through the years, because obviously Jason's been exposed to a whole lot of ups and downs, and sometimes we talk about just getting back up again, but the bottom line is what we've been listening to is not a story you're going to be hearing on the news, but it's what the world is all about. The world is basically good. There's good in all of us. If you look for it and just help people bring it out, it's right there, unlike what the perception of the media is. It's 90-10 the other way around, and people like Jason are just out there showing that day after day after day.
yeah, so Jason, you've already accomplished so much. What are the next steps that you're going to take with Handkerchief to get it to where you want it to be?
Just the next step is building that website, building that platform, doing the outreach. I know a lot of things that on pause because of COVID, but this gives us time to really build the outreach component. I think that's where the focus needs to be now, and staying motivated, not giving up. I know it's been a long process, but not giving up and taking it out there. I once again being in the position that I am, as far as work goes, is that I know there's a need. There's a need that is going unfulfilled, unfortunately, and hopefully, I can learn from this experience going through COVID, make the changes as necessary, but also build on it. Okay, this pandemic, once again, on no one's fault, but how do we keep the vision and purpose of what we said we was going to do with this, and how do we expand it or adapt to the current situation? So that's the focus point now.
Yeah, we do have the URL. I think it's platform-youth.com, and we are putting like the structure behind that to put up the resources and a lot of other things. So it's a work in process, but we're working on it.
All right. And we're just about at the end of our time. So if anybody wants to get a hold of you, perhaps get involved with Handkerchief, how can they do so?
Well, it's going to be the platform youth.org. Right now, they can contact me via email at jgibson, JAYGIBSON09@yahoo.com.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for being our guest today. Chip, what do you think is the big takeaway from all of this?
Well, as I said, we're getting into the holiday season right now, and we have a true gift right here today in Jason. You know how I like to do quotes every once in a while? One of my favorites as example is not the main thing in influencing others. It is the only thing. That's by Albert Schweitzer. God bless you, Jason. It's a pleasure to have you here today. That's you.
I thank you for your time, and I wish you well.
Me too. I couldn't agree with you more, Chip. I think the big takeaway is that no matter what you're facing, Jason has shown firsthand you can overcome it and you can move forward and help others. It's not a zero-sum game. You can give back and make a difference, even if you've gone through all of this hardship. You still have it in yourself to overcome it and make things better. You've been listening to the Success Showcase. You can catch us every week at xvadio.com/podcasts. You can also find us on the Apple Podcasts app, Google Play, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, and wherever you find podcasts. Remember, make this your best week ever and make next week even better. We'll see you then.